Well, I'll tell you what, the market is taking any chance it can get, any reason to go higher. That's not a bad place to be. I'll show you what we're seeing in the charts in this video, not only for the stock market, but also the crypto market as well, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, I know you were waiting for me to say that one as well, and XRP. I'm not sure if I said that. The list gets too long. I should really break this into 2 videos, but we're going to cram it into one. I think you guys are going to enjoy the information that I have for you. If you'd like to see more information, more of my technicals and my buys and sells, check out the link in the description for the Discord. Use code word doctor. I'll tell you more about that later. In the meantime, here we go. QQQ today, having like a 1.5% swing or something like that. It was a nice move from all the way down at the trough of this thing all the way up to the peak, 1.45%. And we closed right at about resistance. I'll stretch this out and really move it out for you. There we go. Look at that. Right up into resistance, but in the post market, climbing up even higher, breaking 524 in the post market as we saw a strong buying go into the close. So big old dip to start the morning. Notice how we keep on finding this yellow 13 as either support or just staying above it, and we can't seem to close down below the 5-period moving average. Guys, that's one of the reasons why near term I stay cautiously bullish from where we're at right now. Getting up above this resistance and sitting on top of it will be further evidence for that. You can see that we had a whole bunch of rejections prior to that, especially if I put this down for a moment. You can see these rejections that we had in the past. We broke up above at one time, got rejected, retested support, and now we're heading back up again. That's not a bad setup. If I reset the view on this and take down the EMAs and put up the SMAs just to see a bit of an update how we have from this morning, or what we have from this morning, you can see still in pretty darn good shape. 20 up above the 200 and the 50. Good. 50 down below the 200, but creeping up on it. Haha. That's a really good thing to see as well. We want to see the 50 cross the 200. RSIs looking perfect on the daily, on the weekly, and then on the monthly. That's really nice to have that confluence as well. So the momentum is fresh, ripe, and guys, we still have that potential to reach the all-time highs on this thing. So 540.01 is the number to beat as the all-time high for QQQ, tracking the NASDAQ 100. The number to sit on top of right now is 524, so be on the watch for that. And then over here, when we look at SPY, tracking the S&P 500, what do we see as per the moving averages? Well, check out once again this yellow 13 that you see moving across your screen here. We got down below it one day before taking a rocket ship the very next trading that we had following Memorial Day weekend. So that Tuesday that the market was open, back up not only on top of the 13, but on top of the screen 5. And look at those long candlesticks, those long wicks that you see on the bottom of these candles. That is bullishness. That's buying pressure to see those wicks, because every time the price gets tried to push down, the bull's like, nah, and they push it a little bit higher. Something that'd be very encouraging to see for SPY. You'll notice peak, peak, peak. Every peak that we have is lower. Every bottom that we have is higher, which starts to look like a trend line eventually. And then will we break higher on this? Right now, the momentum is suggesting bullishness daily, weekly, and once again monthly. Same amount of confluence that we had with QQQ. So near term, we could be moving forward, but I will say we have jolts coming tomorrow at 10 a.m. We absolutely want to be mindful of that. The market, I think, is really positioning in itself to either take off and retest all-time highs, or to break, or I should say get caught up at resistance and sell back down and maybe retest the 200-day or the 20-day. We'll have to watch and see if we get either one of those things, but jolts is going to be absolutely huge for us. That is one of the red light, green light permission type zones that we're approaching in yellow right now, maybe with a little bit of a green tint to it, but still going to be very cautious leading up to that 10 o'clock hour. And we'll see what we get above 7 million for the number of job openings. Excellent. We should be fine, especially if it's strongly above 7. Down below 7 is when I think the market might start to get a little bit worried, but this gravy train is rolling pretty hard. So really the bigger day after that's non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate, which comes out for us on Friday. That the unemployment rate itself especially is going to get a lot of attention. Staying at 4.2 or below, absolutely golden. Going up above to 4.3, a little bit worrisome, but needs to fit the broader context of the other numbers that we see. Non-farm payroll is also going to be huge for us. We want to make sure that stays in the 3 digits. Be nice to see 200,000 jobs added rather than something in the 100,000s, but if it's down below 100,000, especially once again with larger context, we need more to go with it. But upward pressure comes with the 3-digit numbers, especially as we push towards the mid or higher 100,000s and above. and downward pressure down below the 100,000 mark because a little bit of psychological, like, ooh, this is the second time that we've gotten a 2-digit number for non-farm payrolls and not that far apart. Past couple months, I think it may have been this past fall that we actually saw it, maybe 88,000 jobs added or so. I'd have to go back and look at it. But I will say it's a big week for us today. Not really a whole lot going on. The market got to move up freely. That was really nice to see. Let's get back into the charts on this. IWM is the next one. Look at this, the 20-day. Just like we had a weekday on a WEAK day on Friday, there we go, the 23rd, closed down or sold down below the 20-day, ended up closing above it. And you'll notice we retested it twice now, and we're getting these long candlesticks coming off the bottom of this thing. 210 is the number to beat. And with IWM, the exciting thing here is if the market can find that ultra bullish stride, if we have the Qs and SPY hitting all-time highs, IWM, hopefully it plays out this inverse head and shoulders, which is just absolutely gorgeous to look at right now. I should actually do it better justice by actually having something nicer than my hand drawing on here. Hand drawing, not so great. And I could take a little bit more time with some of these other things that we have on here, these arcs, these paths. We could make it a little bit nicer, but I will say neckline's at about 210, got to sit on top of it. Just north of it at 215 is where we have that 200-day, and it's a nice flat ceiling, which can be additional resistance for us. But if we're melting onto new all-time highs for the Qs, for SPY, then the market must be sniffing out some good news. Hopefully it applies to the small caps as well. There is a lot of correlation between them, even if they're not necessarily directly correlated. So let's move on to crypto from here. So Bitcoin, what's the good news about Bitcoin? Well, I said 104,324. There we go. This 50% Fibonacci extension level is the number to hold on to. I've been saying it since we started selling down from the all-time high that we got at 112,000 per BTC, and we closed down below it, and then the very next day on Saturday closed above, Sunday closed above. Today we're getting another long wick off the bottom of this thing. Let me show you just the candles themselves, and there we go. It'd be nice to see some volume support come in. It'd also be even nicer to get on top of this yellow 13. So right now we got rejected off the 13, so there's still some concern there for Bitcoin. Seeing these wicks is good to actually see this happening off of support, but I will say between this trend line, between this 5.5 Fibonacci extension, the moving averages might win out. The momentum's still looking okay on a daily basis. It's still somewhat bullish, but we got to get on top of those moving averages, and we have resistance just to the north of that as well. Bitcoin has its work cut out for it, but if we go into more of a risk-on environment, Bitcoin could certainly have another day in the sun, and when it does, it should break that 112,000. Maybe we start to look at 113 and up above that 120 and I think 140-ish is about where my price target is. Let me see if it's actually on here for us. I may have it listed already. 134, there you go. 134,213 is that number that we should actually see. Let me put it up here on the screen for you. So they're not just looking at the side of my head. There's the price target that I have for BTC. If we can stay on this bullish path, even if it does rest a little bit in between, I'm still looking to that number to the north. The number we have to sit on top is 111,337, and this ray that we have coming across your screen. Want to get on top of this for the Fibonacci extension level. That is a very, very critical number that you can see as soon as we closed above it on the 22nd of May. Then on the 23rd, we sold right down, haven't seen it since. So sitting on top of it, just like I said before we got there, it's critical that we overtake that and we keep it. We didn't, so now we're selling off. Now we're back testing the 5 that I said we would likely test out. The 5's got to hold, or 0.5 I should say. If it doesn't, we're down to the 38.2 is what we're looking at, and that's around 97 to 98,000, and that'd be quite a tumble, and it would finish this move that we would see here. So this is what we're looking at to the downside. This is what we have to fight with to the upside in order to have further price movement from there. So we'll plan out if we go back and retest either of those two values. Ethereum, man, Ethereum, here we're back to those long bottom wicks again. Look at this. Let me take all that stuff down right around that support. I'll even take away the moving averages just so we can focus on the wicks that we have on this thing. Do you guys see the sheer number of long bottom wicks that we have that happens? Let me see, starting at about 24.77 and going all the way up to 25.25 is about the number that we're looking for. All that buying pressure that comes in every time that we dip down beneath it. And that is a really encouraging thing to see. We did lose the 20-day, not great. Long bottom wicks, a lot of buying pressure there. We got to get back up on top of that blue 20-day. that 200-day to the north, the simple moving average. Got to get back on top of that as well. We had one day where we sort of kind of went above it, but then the market sold off. Crypto market went along with it. Putting up the EMAs, what do we got? We're finding that support just north of the 200 EMA, but we're also down below the 5. We're down below the 13 on this thing. All the 5, 13, the 20, they're all coming together here. Getting on top of that is going to be absolutely massive. Lagging behind is this 50-period moving average, an exponential moving average that we want to see push up above the 200. And if we take the EMAs down and put up the SMAs, there's that 50 coming in. Come on, 50. You can do it. Cross up over the 200. Give us that bullish golden cross that I would love to see. And so far we haven't seen. Look at XRP once again, finding down in this area that I said was support that we need to watch for. So far that support is playing out just like what we saw in the past all throughout here for that support, only breaking down through one time. And then during that time that we broke down through, we found more support down here about 161 up to about 171. And then finally, I know you've been waiting for it. Suey! There we go. Fighting with the 50-day. This is not looking so great right now, but if we can find more strength in Bitcoin and Ethereum and the other larger market cap cryptos that we have out there, hopefully this can move along with it. We are so close to that golden cross, but we got to get on top of the moving averages or it just doesn't count. Most likely it's a false signal if we can't do that. If we look at the more near-term moving averages, the 5, the 13, and the 50, so green, yellow, red, just like a traffic light, respectively, as I talked about them. The bottom wicks, excellent to see. Got to get on top of the 5. It's bearish until we do. The RSI is also in bearish territory. And that 13, if that should cross down over the 50, that is a big bearish sign as well in the near term when we look at the price action for SUI. So we have reasons to be hopeful. We do. There's a lot of reasons out there to be hopeful for what we're seeing with crypto, to see what we're seeing with stocks happening right now. There's also reason to have caution as well. So leaning too heavily to either side isn't necessarily something I'm too interested in at the moment. I would rather be at some sort of extreme with price action, with the moving averages, before I really start to lean in super heavily to a bearish sentiment or a bullish sentiment. And once again, it kind of fits that larger picture that we have with the other macro factors that are taking place. And we just have a lot of question marks, any number of question marks that I listed in previous videos here. There's just so much right now that's uncertain. We need to watch and see what that next direction is going to be. The market's trying to decide right now. It's like, well, no news is good news, so I'm going to keep on moving in a bullish direction. Crypto's trying to follow. It really is. And if you guys want to see more of my analyses, more of my picks, my stock picks, crypto picks, the trades that I make over at the Discord, links in the description, sign up for the earner tier, use the code word doctor to save yourself 50% off that first month's sign up. And also, while you're looking in the description, if you want to learn to trade options like I do, learn about technical analysis, learn how to use the bread recipe trading strategy that I also personally use, Stockmo, a personal friend of mine, has made those courses. They already exist. All you got to do is use the link in the description. Use code word doctor, same one, when you sign up for those. Going to save you a ton of cash. Bundling those courses saves you even more. It helps you to invest in yourself, to educate yourself so you can take real advantage of the opportunities as they come along and you see and you know just how impactful it is, the things that we have to say. And also over at the Discord, there's the bread bot, there's AI tools, advanced charting tools, and just a community of thousands of people sharing the opportunities and insights that they have. There's a whole team of panel experts. I'm one of them over at the Discord as well. We share our plays and our knowledge. And when you guys know exactly what we're talking about, because you've educated yourself through those courses that exist, then you really know just how big it is when we say some of the things that we say and when we do some of the things that we do. And that can either help you to, and it informs your due diligence, and it can help you to decide, man, this is the time I should get in, this is the time I should get out. We won't tell you to buy or sell. That's still your work, your job that you need to do as part of your research and your due diligence. But we are there to add a huge part and take some of that heavy load off your shoulders and bring the information to you all in one place. So Discord or Stockmo Academy for those courses. Code word doctor is going to work for both of them. Guys, I'll see you over in the Discord. Thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.